Hey, what's up, y'all? You know what day it is? Thursday. So that brings us to our fourth installment of Throwback Thursdays. I don't know if you can tell, but my Shadow Flygon in the background there finally has a Best Buddy ribbon. So you know I had to bring the team from the Fantasy Cup that includes the Shiny Shadow Flygon. In the battles, it won't have the ribbon, but that's okay. Any future battles, it'll be repping it, and that's going to be awesome. So here we go. Gonna be what? Dragonite, Flygon, and Mawile. Mawile, I do believe, switches up its moveset a little bit in this battle. That is my Pokemon that's generally just the trash can for fast TMs. I just kind of cycle through it constantly, switching up the moveset, seeing how I feel, like how the meta feels, what I want to use. So we'll see Astonish in the beginning, but I think later on in the video it's gonna start changing up like a little bit here and there. But into a great start with the Shiny Shadow Dragonite into the Fire Fang Mawile. So, again, interesting moveset on the Dragonite. It's always a pretty kind of like off-meta moveset that I run in the Fantasy Cup with Dragonite. I love running the Hurricane on it in general, but it's so much easier to run the Hurricane in the Fantasy Cup. And we can throw this neutral superpower here. I called the Power Up Punch bait. I don't think they built up to enough for an actual move. So, we get to nuke it. And it comes their own Flygon. This one's non-Shadow, though, so it's not nearly as offensively threatening, but we'll see what I do here. It looks like they're also running Mud Shot. Yeah, they are running Mud Shot, so, and they throw like instantly, so I'm just gonna let this go. Dragonite took out what, like a Pokemon and a half, more than a half, so that is more than enough for me. And now they're in a range where even if they get to a move, it'll be double resistant to Mawile, but we get the full farm down, and it's a Ferrothorn and back, so we can throw this pretty heavy hitting resisted damage with the play roughs. They don't really build up that much. I think this is just a Mirror Shot, maybe a Power Whip. It is a Power Whip, but we can live that. Now we switch into the Shiny Shadow Flygon, the spotlight of the video, dealing neutral fast move damage with it. We're going to build up to the Scorching Sands, see if we can get to the move. Probably, potentially, I guess, pull a debuff with the Scorching Sands. And then we've got energy all over the place. And this opponent only has one Pokemon left, so we're going to throw this Resisted Dragon Claw here. It doesn't technically threaten to KO, but the opponent might not realize that. No, they do realize it, but that's okay. We're going to shield this, farm down. Or we could come in, farm down with the Mawile. We've got plenty of options here, but Shiny Shadow Flygon, one of my newer Shadows, so I do love using it. Generally, though, it is pretty tricky. It's much more easy to use in the Fantasy Cup with the limited meta, but in the open Great Leagues and stuff like that, the Flygon just has so many weaknesses and so many like neutral damage matchups where it just really just dies a little bit too fast. Here we go with the Turtonator lead. Again, like I mentioned in the last Throwback Thursday, Turtonator's a tricky Pokemon for my Dragonite to deal with because it is no Dragon-type damage. But they come in with the Azumarill, so I'm gonna like, okay, build up with some energy, come in with the Mawile, let anything go through. If they throw a Hydro Pump, they waste a ton of energy, but this is the only Pokemon that can realistically tank any charge move damage from the Azumarill, and it has a horrible matchup into that Turtonator, so I'm just gonna basically throw it away here, pull a Shield or pull Switch, and then ideally, if we do get Switch, I want that Flygon on the Turtonator. And they do give us Switch, so they're going to get an Incinerate head start. Maybe that's, what was that, a Fire Fang? It is a Fire Spin. They're running Fire Spin. That's crazy. But again, better matchup here with the Flygon because we're dealing super effective fast move damage, and we get to these Dragon Claws pretty quickly. And we get there before they even get any moves off, so that's huge. And then they've got a Dedenne and back. I've got two shields. I've got the, Steel Wing Dragonite and the super effective Sand Attack damage coming from the Flygon. So that game was over. The opponent knew it. They gave us the concession. That's amazing. Again, like every week, I got to give you guys a disclaimer. These are basically just like highlight reel battles from like ages and ages ago. And you'll see in the ELO range, this is that Fantasy Cup set that we had at the very beginning of the season. So the ELO is still pretty low. Everybody's getting up to the like ace and like ranges where you actually get to see what the ELO is. It's still just too early to tell, but you can see with these team comps, aside from that Fire Spin Turtonator, the opponents are still coming here to play. But we've got a Azumarill here. We give them the shield. They don't expect the Hurricane. That is a nuke. Let's go. I love landing the Hurricane on Azumarills. Some of them do expect it, but generally they don't, and I just love seeing how much heavy neutral damage we do. It's stab on the Dragonite. It hits so hard. And in comes this, Ferrothorn. So we can threaten with the super effective superpower. They might have just been fearing the Hurricane at that point after seeing how much damage that did to the Azumarill. And now I'm like, okay, you can have this Pokemon, but it's double resisted. We live that, and we get to another superpower. That is crazy. I love this matchup with the Dragonite. Especially, I think this might be pre-Steel Wing nerf, too. So we get to see about, like, a little bit of how good that move was before it got nerfed. You just get energy so fast. and then sending in the Mawile here. We can take any damage here. Even a Thunder they could throw, we still live it, believe it or not. And then Bullet Seeds just do like almost no damage. We live 2 Power Whips, and we get to the play rough. That is crazy. Mawile is truly showing its bulk here, but I don't want to KO this Pokemon, but didn't pull off the undercharge effectively. But in the back's a Registeel. We can handle this with our Flygon with a shield advantage. Even if they get to a move, we can just shield it. If they debuff us with a Zap Cannon, we can clear that eventually with our Dragonite that we have lingering in the back. But they only throw a Flash Cannon, which is like a little bit concerning for me, right? Because they could technically start to outpace, depending on how much of an energy lead they got. Flash Cannon is the cheapest possible move that they could throw in a Registeel. But that's it. Scorching Sands was enough to get the KO there. And then you can see there, what is that, like rank 13 or whatever. So not too high, but again, this is early on in the season, so like everybody's kind of in this range. We're all just getting up to that point now. I'm facing somebody in like the 10. So it's just kind of like the Wild West out here. But great lead again. Dragonite into what's most likely a Fire Fang Salamence. But again, they swap into the Azumarill thinking that they're going to be facing up against the Dragon-type Fast move damage. But they're not. And we catch, or like almost catch, the move here. They throw the Play Rough, which is the best move to throw for them if they're not gonna, if they don't have Hydro Pump. But now we can just outpace. Main thing that I want to do here is try to avoid letting the Flygon get onto that Salamence because it deals double resisted fast move damage. But again, Mawile is the only Pokemon that can really tank damage from this Azumarill without using shields. So I really don't like using shields in that matchup because I can just come in, farm up a ton of energy here, and then use a shield because we have to at this point. But now I've got an energy lead, and I can just threaten that Salamence with this Dragon or this Dragon Claw. But they come up with another Fairy type, and that is a little bit tricky for us. So let's see how we play out of this. Scorching Sands hits pretty hard, but it's resisted. So you see it doesn't do that much damage, but we've got 2 of them. So forcing the opponent to make a shield or decision here, they give us a shield. And at this point, I can just come in, farm down with the Dragonite. But we come in, win CMP, and then throw the superpower. It's resisted, but we put them into a range where this will be enough to take them out. But now we're debuffed, so it's going to be a little bit tricky trying to get the KO onto that Salamence, right? Because we don't have any Dragon-type fast move damage. And because we're debuffed, they can actually outpace us there. To like they would have farmed us down before we got to the Hurricane. But they do us a favor, swap out for us, let us get the superpower off against the Azumarill. We're probably still going to have to throw. Yeah, Switch Timer's not up yet, so we got to throw this move. It's now double debuffed, and it's resisted, so this will not do too much. But look at that. That still did a bunch of damage, but we had a Dragon Claw banked on the Flygon. That is huge. Hot swap into it, get this move off, get the KO on the Salamence. Again, love the spice from the opponent, Shiny Shadow Salamence. As you guys know, I'm also a huge fan, so love to see it getting some love in the Fantasy Cup. But unfortunately, we just have the good alignment. Again, tricky lead for us. This Turtonator is just always a challenge. But they swap into what they think is a good matchup, but it's not. I can shield and farm all the way down, and then switches ours. And I've got a monumental amount of energy on this Dragonite. And they full sent the move, so we are so safe to get that full farm down. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. They come back in with a Turtonator. I don't want to throw that energy. I want to save it for later, because I can still outpace here, even though they get that head start in the Incinerate damage. Dragon Claw and Sand Attack is just such incredible pacing. You get there so fast. And again, they might have even buffed Sand Attack since these videos were recorded. With these Throwback Thursdays, it'll be a little bit tricky kind of knowing exactly where the status of different moves are. So that'll be kind of fun seeing like where just dipping back in time a little bit. Get this neutral Scorching Sands off. That does pretty heavy damage into that Ferrothorn. And now we can come in, farm all the way down with the Mawile. They might not even get to a move. They don't. They could have thrown the Power Whip, but they wanted to reach for that Thunder to do that neutral damage. But now we've got a whole Play Rough, and this is going to threaten the Turtonator. So they have to shield this, but they don't, and it takes them out, and that's game. They needed to save shields, though, because we had a Hurricane banked on the Dragonite. So that was it. Again, these are some pretty like favorable videos for me, right? They're all probably going to be wins. There might be some losses included if they're like really close, but it is what it is. Doug Trio, I love this matchup because we double resist that ground type damage. But then they come up on a Scavalier. I don't really like this Pokemon with my backline because it does such heavy neutral damage into both of them. And this is probably pre-counter nerf too, so this thing's doing a lot of both damage and fast move generation. But I'm going to call this. I don't know what they're going to throw. It's a Drone. That's double resisted, so they must have Acid Spray as their other move. Maybe Mega Horn. and they didn't want to use up all that energy. But it still did enough, right? They got the farm down. Now we can come in, get the farm down with the Mawile, and see how we want to play out of this. They do have that, what is this? I guess Galarian Dugtrio or whatever. That might be a different region. It might not be Galarian. But we can come in, do super effective damage with the sand attack. But you can see this thing hits pretty hard. Look at how much these Mud Slaps are doing to my Flygon. But we get the full farm down, and that is huge. So let's see what the opponent wants to do now. They come up with another Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn are everywhere in this cup right now. Oh my god. But we've got 2 Scorching Sands banked, and we've got a little bit of health left. So we can get there. Oh, they weren't banked, but we got there in time before they KO'd us. And now we can pull that last shield, or pull the KO here. Swap into the Mawile. They, I think, might take us out here. They do take us out here. This is a loss, right? Yeah, this is a loss. Oh, so not as favorable as I thought it would be then. So we do have some losses in here. Can't win them all. That's always okay. It's still just a really, really fun team to run. Interesting lead here. If they're on Sand Attack or Mud Shot, we can still just really, really build up, do some good neutral damage. But we try to catch the Dragon Claw, and we do catch the Dragon Claw. This is double resisted. So making them waste a little bit of their energy. They do super effective damage with their fast move, but that fast move is more focused on energy generation, so I wasn't too concerned. We don't get to the heavy hitting move here. This is resisted, but the opponent didn't know that. They were fearful of the play rough. They gave us the shield, and now we can come with our own Flygon and probably farm all the way down. Because I know that since we caught that Dragon Claw, their Flygon is energy dry. So if we can build up a ton of energy here, then we'll be safe against that Flygon. And they threw a Flash Cannon, so they must be on Overheat Flash Cannon. So that's pretty good for us. Wasn't going to quite get the full farm down, and I didn't want to give up both shields. So let's see how we want to play out of this. They come out with their Flygon. I don't want to mess around. Get this off immediately. Force the opponent to make a decision, or give us the last shield. Or their Pokemon. And we got the Pokemon. And now it's a Zoomerl in the back. So this is tricky. But again, nobody really expects the Hurricane, so they're probably going to shield this Scorching Sands, thinking this is the hardest hitting move left in the game, and they do. So now it's Dragonite's time to shine. Let it go, do some neutral damage with that Steel Wing, and then hit him with the absolute nuke that is known as Hurricane. We do have to build up to it. We don't have that much residual energy. We can give them the shield here. We have to, or this would OHKO our Dragonite. But again, absolute nuke coming in here. If it's a really, really XL Azumarill, this actually might not KO. But again, we can outpace them with our fast move damage before they get to another move. But not truly XL Azumarill, not like a super, super high rank one. So that ended up taking them out. And I will take that. I always love landing those Hurricanes on these Pokemon, especially Azumarill, because everybody thinks they're super, super safe into my Dragonite, but they're not that safe. Again, now we're getting into the craziness. Here we've got Mawile. It's now Fairy Wind, so we've dropped Astonish, and now we've got way, way faster pacing, but a way less fast move pressure. It is Stab, technically, but this opponent knows they've got to shield that. We don't have to shield this, though, and I'm not going to, because again, this is the only Pokemon that can tank damage from the Azumarill, so gotta let it do its thing, eat that damage up, get the play rough, either force both shields, or do some really, really heavy damage on the Azumarill, and then it's in farm down range for pretty much either of my Pokemon. But I want to save the Mawile for a potential catch later on, so I swap out. Also don't really want to give the Azumarill enough opportunity to get to a second move, and they swap into this Pokemon, which is a horrible matchup into our Dragonite, because again, double resisted fast move damage, so they must not like this Dragonite in the back. But I'm probably gonna let it go. Yeah, I do let it go. Maybe aim for a full farm down with the Flygon. We've got a shield. We've got a potential catch on the with the Mawile, so we've got a lot of wiggle room here. We do get the catch. Let's go. Okay, nice. So we saved the shield. Maybe even saved a little bit of fast move damage. I'm not too sure. But now we've got a ton of energy. But look, those Mud Slaps almost took us out, even though it took forever. They do get the catch on us, I believe, but I'm not too sure. That looked a little funky there. Yep, they get the catch on us, so let's see what's in the back. But it's the Salamence, and this Pokemon is pretty glassy, so this Dragon Claw might take them out. And it does. Let's go. That was like a 98, 99% KO right there. That is incredible. Dragon Claw, Stab, super effective, but it's not that expensive of a move, so that truly showed off how glassy Salamence is. This is an interesting lead. Normally in this cup, this Pokemon runs Sludge, and everybody throws it. They always throw the Sludge, but they don't realize that it's resisted. I can tank 2 of these. Yeah, easy. Tank 2 of those easily, and we can threaten a one-shot with our Iron Head. So we'll outpace to lethal damage if they don't want to give us both shields. So let's see what the opponent wants to do here. It is a shadow, so gotta respect the shadow wheezing. Galarian wheezing at that. I think that at this point in time, that was like almost like a brand new release Pokemon through that evolution event. But here we'll see if we can tank that second Sludge Bomb. 2-0 shield advantage. Hot swap out again. Save that Pokemon for a sack swap later. And then might be able to get the full farm down here. Let's see how it goes. We do get the full farm down here. That is incredible. Now I've got a ton of energy. A shield left to go. And then here is their Shiinotic. That's crazy. But again, they don't expect the Hurricane. This is going to one-shot. Super effective flying-type damage coming into the Shiinotic. And that is incredible. And they go down to Zoomerl and back. So we've got to be incredibly careful here. Have to throw the superpower, just get a little bit of chip damage off on them. And this should put them into range where the Flygon can come in and deal with this Pokemon. And again, we've got the catch potential here. So let's see if it goes right. And it does. Let's go. Perfect timing on that. Is this an Ice Beam or a Play Rough? It's a Play Rough. So they're running actually probably Play Rough and Hydro Pump. So now we definitely outpace to the win here. Building up a ton of energy. Throwing the Scorching Sands. Again, depending on the XL status of this Pokemon, this won't be lethal. And it wasn't lethal, but just a couple more sand attacks, and that gets the KO. So that's huge. Incredible couple of sack swaps we've had in this battle set here. Generally, pretty helpful to land a sack swap or two with a team of triple shadows because you just don't have that much defensive advantage. And again, Mawile keeping us on our toes. This is a Fire Fang Mawile in this game, but we safe swap, we draw out the Turtonator, and I like to see the Turtonator here instead of the Mawile because it's double resisted fast move damage coming from the Mawile onto this Pokemon. And they shield, fearing the Dragon type damage, and we outpace here. I don't think it's technically a CMP tie, but now they'll be able to farm us all the way down, but they don't shield that. So now we can come in, probably farm down with the Flygon if we give them one shield, but I don't want to do that. They're probably going to throw a Dragon Pulse. So double resisted. It is double resisted. Let's go. Look at the little damage that did. That's crazy. And then we get the farm down with a double resisted fast move. That is incredible. Got to get out of there. This Dugtrio would have farmed us down so quickly. And now it's all up to whichever Pokemon's in back. And it's a Galarian Weezing. This game is ours. It's got to be. We can just safely shield up these moves that are coming in. This is going to be a double resisted Sludge most likely. And it is, but that's okay. We've got two shields. Might as well use them. And we've got this super effective Scorching Sands coming in. Let's see if they want to shield it. They do. But again, we've got so much energy. Here comes the next one. They can't shield this one. And this is going to be game. Yep, there it is. That's awesome. So again, cannot believe that the opponent blind through that Dragon Pulse there. That was a huge win for us. But I think we would have been fine anyways because the Flygon ended up carrying the rest of the game anyways. So the Mawile didn't do too much aside from get a little bit of fast move damage off against that Dugtrio. Again, I forget which region it is. But this is where Fire Fang is useful, and that opponent knew that they were threatened right there, so they had to get out of there. But again, we've got to stay in with this Mawile because we can't tank that damage on anything else. So, gonna let them get this move off. It is a Play Rough, so it hits a little bit harder than the Ice Beam. But now, save that energy, save that Mawile, come up with the Dragonite, and let's see if the opponent expects this move coming in from the Dragonite. It's a shiny Azumarill, so that's a pretty sick flex, little gold mouse. But now we're gonna build up. Here comes the Hurricane. Is the opponent expecting this damage? Could be a Dragon Claw bait, could be a superpower. Nope, it's a freaking Hurricane. Let's go. And then it's a Bastiodon in back. That is horrible for us. We get to the superpower, but they probably aren't expecting superpower. They're like, oh, they're running Hurricane. There's no way they got superpower. But we do. Let's go. Come in, try and snipe with the Flygon. Not super successful, but now we've got two, like 1 HP Pokemon in the back. So let's see if we can come away with the win here. As you can see, as I mentioned earlier, the neutral fast move damage coming in from this Escavalier is really threatening the Flygon. And I'm letting this go. That's crazy. How are we going to do this? Okay, so we get a little bit of fast move damage off. Don't even throw our energy because I still have a shield left. So we've got one Steel Wing and one Steel Wing. And we get the win. That is insane. There was so little health on that Pokemon. Our Dragonite left. And they had their Bastiodon left in the back. But we outpaced them to the KO because our fast move registered before theirs did. And that's incredible. And look at this. Another incredible Fire Fang lead. Same deal. Say swap into the Azumarill. Got to build up. Got to tank this damage on our Mawile. And then see how we want to play out of here. Probably going to do the same thing. Switch right out into the Dragonite. And we do. It's like clockwork. But again, let's see if this opponent knows about the Hurricane. That is like one of the most fun things about this league. always kind of a coin flip, right? As if they're expecting it. You do technically gamble a lot of energy on this, but surely they don't expect this, right? And they can come back in with their the Sand Slash, and this is probably a good matchup depending on what their fast move is. Well, it's a good matchup either way, but if they've got Shadow Claw, we can get the superpower. And again, I don't know if they're going to expect us to have the superpower coverage because we have the Hurricane, but they do. They called it, so that's okay. Come in, get some double super effective Fire Fang damage off, and now we've got a ton of energy on this Pokemon. So let's see what the opponent wants to do. They come out with the Weezing, and we might be able to outpace to a move here. Depending on if they expect how much energy we have, we get to this Iron Head. We do! Oh my god, that's incredible! Okay, so this, I think, is going to be a win for us again. The opponent might have gotten a little bit greedy there, but oh, is that a Shiny Shadow Galarian Weezing? That is so sick. And then, yep, we get the farm down. Oh my god, that is awesome. That might be our last battle of this set. Nope, we got one more. Okay, nice. And then let's see if this is also Fire Fang, or it could be something else. Sometimes I do run Ice Fang on the Mawile because nobody ever expects it, and it makes it an even better counter into the Dragon types from a fast move standpoint. So I like that, but this is another Fire Fang battle. Let's see how this goes. Building up, building up, building up. This opponent's actually playing this pretty smart. They're building up past the sludge and going to the overheat, making me make a decision. But then they call a bait, and so I'm just gonna get that free one shot. And then they come in with the Doug Trio, so gotta get out of there into the Dragonite. But again, now we've got an energy lead. They still outpace us, which is fine. I'm fine giving a shield here, and then forcing the opponent to call that we're throwing a Hurricane. Again, not everybody does. Not everybody has it, and it's pretty expensive. So there's no way that we're throwing this, right? And they did not call it. That is incredible. That's so much damage with a Azumarill. And now I don't think I shield this. Yeah, I just come in with the Flygon. We've got a little bit of Fire Fang damage left to go on that Doug Trio. This has got to be game, right? This might be a win with 2 shields left on the opponent's side. Yeah, got to shield this. Not too sure if there's enough health in Mawile's tank to be able to get enough fire move or fast move damage off, but we don't even need it. The sand attacks were exactly what we needed to do. And then that's the end of the video. Look at this angle. So I'm level 45, and I just learned last night when I was showing my friends that I got the Best Buddy ribbon on the Flygon, that I can move the Flygon, or like any of my buddies in this arrangement. So for the end of the battle, I had to show you guys the money shot, back a Yetinope, back of Flygon's head, and go into the next week's videos. I think I will upload something on Saturday, but we'll see what ends up coming out. And then back to our normal cadence of video on Tuesday, video on Thursday. Always a throwback video on Thursday. Got to represent the Throwback Thursdays. And then, yeah, thanks for watching. Remember, YetinopeTV, like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good night. Thank you.